Now the magnolia has shed its flowers and leafed out, but look what took its place. A beautiful smoke bush. Now it's showing off its color. It flowers too. We might look back at this again later. I know you remember my creeping speedwell. Well, look what is happening now. Tiny, sweetest little flowers are blooming all over this little carpet. Isn't that amazing? I can't even believe it. Look at this. Look at these sweet little flowers. Just 2 weeks ago, we looked at these coral bells, and look at, there's already a flower coming up on that. Isn't that the sweetest thing ever? They are so wonderful to get. You might enjoy. The colors are just amazing. And here the lilacs have bloomed. There they are. I just planted these about 3 years ago. I believe this is the third year, and they really are so pretty. French lilacs, really, really pretty. Look at, filled with flowers. Just lovely. I've showed you these before when they were just budding out, when it was early spring, real early spring. Now we're already in May, middle of May. Look at that. It's amazing. And of course the Dionysus. And it's just really showing its robust vigor. And one little flower. We're going to come back when that whole thing's in bloom. But can you imagine that hot pink all over that silver green? It's amazing. The tricolored beech tree. I can't make a video without showing it at some point because it opened up when it was 3 weeks ago. They looked like they were flowers. They were so beautiful. Look at that, all the way down to almost the root line. And this tree also I've had now since 2019. So it's 2023. Very much a little baby, but look at how impressive it can be. It's just very, very lovely. I'm going to walk this way a little bit so you can get an idea of how that looks. This year it's most outstanding. At times you could hardly see it, but it really has made an impression this year. So it takes a little while, even when we buy these little, really tiny little trees, very young, just have to have patience. I told you I'd come back when these iris open. This was the first one to open. Just absolutely I don't know, to me they look like orchids. They look like orchids. And look all the flowers I'm going to get on this. One bloom after another. These here haven't opened yet. But look at the allium balls. Oh, they are wonderful. They are wonderful. You know, after the daffodils and the tulips, the alliums come out and the iris start blooming. Just put a few bulbs out and you'll have such a variety, and it just keeps coming. And here's the second iris that opened up for me. This little, it's called a tick seed or tickweed type. It's just such a pretty, sweet little spring flower, and really opened up for me. And of course, the allium balls. They're just popping up in different places. Joyful, really joyful. The rose, I gave it plant food to the rose bushes, and look at they're moving along. Here's more of that. I think it's called a tick weed flower, tick seed or tickweed. And there's another allium ball there to accompany it. Gosh, yellow and purple. It's a winner. Put some ferns in this pot. Look at that. Just comes up for me. Just like that. Over winter. and they spring out. You can always put a couple, which I probably will put a few flowers in that pot to give it a little color, along with the beautiful fern. And here we are. This is the iris garden. I'd say it's been 3 years. We split the whole, just a huge bunch of them that were all packed in and weren't blooming. Split them all up and put them in here. And look what's happening here. Look what's happening here. This is amazing. I'm just showing you the progress as it goes, because of course the allium bulbs have opened up, and the iris are still magically withholding, but they'll be blooming soon. They'll be blooming soon, and we'll get another glimpse of this. Oh, I wished I had more property that I could do more mass planting. You know, that's when you really get a magnificent effect. And this is the lamb's ear. Pretty as could be. Yeah, middle of May. Look at this. This is just so attractive. And makes you feel good. Remember when I showed you these hostas just opening up? I mentioned this one, Summer Substance. Look at the size of it. I said it's almost 5 by 5 feet when it totally opens up. Magnificent. I bought one of these over maybe 40-45 years ago, and I have split them at least 8 to 10 times. I've got them everywhere. They are magnificent. Remember that your hostas, if you have some. I see a lot of them as I walk in different neighborhoods, and they don't pull them up and split them, and they'll work for you. Believe me, they will come back and just give you a beautiful mass look, you know. This pretty fuchsia that my daughter brought me for Mother's Day. They are magnificent, huh? And they love this cool weather. They're beautiful. This pretty little hosta, it's called Orange Marmalade. It was just about that small when I bought it, many years ago. Maybe 7, 10 maybe, I don't know. And I've split them. I split it. Look at that coral bell there. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? But orange marmalade. There are some other pretty hostas that have opened up. I love this blue-green one, like it's more blue, you know? Beautiful. I'm sorry, I forget the names of them. And look at the bleeding hearts. That is a real winner, that particular one, because it's got the lime-colored leaves, and the pink coming off of that is really what makes it. This is that bishop's cap. I call it a bishop's cap. And I don't know if I can find, I think the flowers have gone, but there were little pink flowers, which I showed you about a couple weeks ago. If you go back to one of my other spring videos, you'll see it. Bishop's cap. A friend of mine, Carrie, gave that to me. Look at the size of these hostas coming right out of this rock here. This is where my fish pond is, my little pond. And I thought, after he put the rocks all around, but no, look at, you can't kill these things. Look at this. They all came up. They came up because Ricky was working real hard on this pond of mine. He redid it. It was all falling apart, and he took it apart stone by stone. And so there was a lot of activity last fall, and no, the hostas just came right back up, happy as they could be. Here's that orange marmalade hosta again that I split. And but that one that I just showed you, that I just split that one, so that's just a tiny little baby. But look at this one. Look at this one. It's amazing. It's amazing. They're all pretty, but boy, that one's really got. That one's a real winner. A real winner. And then here's my hosta woodsy garden back here. I love them. They are so lovely. Look at this tree. Look at this beautiful tree. A little bit, I mean, it was about not even a foot tall. My neighbor gave it to me. She lives across behind me, and she gave it to me. It was from her mother's gardens in Door County. And look at it. Isn't that beautiful? I'm so excited. That tree really does it for me. Look at that huge hosta there. They are pretty. They are pretty. Yep. Here's these blue ones that I showed you up at in the other section there. I split that all up from that little part and just look at how many I got out of that. Yeah. And they are, well, they're a nice color. I really enjoy them. Those are going to be white Annabelles, hydrangeas. Yep. But anyway, they are sweethearts, aren't they? And look at these little mouse ears, they call them. Little mouse ears. There's so many varieties of these little hostas. Ain't that sweet? And my orange marmalade. Love it.